Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard. I live in Chancellor Park. I mow lawns, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I sure am glad to join me here on this podcast. I want to let you know what's going on in my neck of the woods. Now, I started out years ago on the YouTubes and then the TikToks and the Instagrams now and the whatnots. I got the websites, the tavindillard.com, but right now, I want to clue you into what's happening in my neck of the woods on the Tavin Dillard podcast. You here? I'm here. I'm glad you joined me. Now I'm going to send it over to myself. This is like the pre-introduction, but let's get on to the real show today. I'm glad you joined me here. Bank, bank. Welcome to the Tavin Dillard podcast, y'all guys. Seasons 10, episode 1. I'm Tavin Dillard. I got Tavin's Lawn Care Services. Mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I sure appreciate y'all sending in them questions last week. Remember how y'all did that? How y'all sent them the questions? And that was the last episode of Seasons 9. And it's goodly sized longer than the regular episode I do for podcast. The reason how come is y'all send in them questions like that away. And so I tried to take the time to answer them. And that's what I was doing. And y'all sent them in. And it's a hoot of a time. And now we well into May. If you listening to this on the day it comes out, it's May the 7th. So you had a goodly sized week of May already. Can you believe it? Boy, the spring is here. Summer kind of pickle-booning over the horizon a little bit, like cannonball season coming up, softball season coming up. I got some information on softball season here in a little bit, but that's on the way. And then I got, what else I got? Oh, last week I launched that new shirt on May the 1st, Donuts for the Haunches. You can check that out in the show notes. Let me just get to that right now while I'm thinking about them show notes. Donut Haunches shirt, right there, you can check that out. Team Burger Shed book, my new book that talks about all how our team came together in the first season, inaugural season, they could say, I think it is. I don't know, I didn't go to school for those words. But anyhow, the book's there, and then I've been signing cards this week, autograph cards. The first 500 book orders get the autograph card with it. They might extend it to more books. We was getting close to 500 sold last I heard, but anyhow, you can see how to pre-order that book. It ships on May the 25th, and then I got done recording the audio book for that, so that'll be available at the end of May too. It's like I'm reading it to you, I guess. You think about it that way, but I hope you can pick up one of them standard books, you know, like you'd see, like a standard book with a front and a back cover and all that. But you'll see how to do that in the show notes. So the Donut Haunches shirt, the new Team Burger Shed book, Tavin's bacon bag. Boy, I had a week of bacon. I'll tell you all about that too. But anyhow, you can see how to get that. Then personal video greetings. Boy, if you listen to this on the day it come out, there is time to get one for mamas for Mother's Day, but you better hurry. I'll put a link for the personal video greetings there in the show notes today. And then, of course, Father's Day is another month away, so you can get one for that too if you want to. So that's the housekeeping, as they say in the show notes today. Thanks again for all your participation last week in the old Q&A. But this week, I got a new question for you. Just thinking about this. What do you like about fishing? I mean, you like to fish? Get out there in the water. Let me ask it this way. Is there something that matters to you when it comes to fishing? Like you got something that needs to happen, or it's got to be a certain way? Well, let me ask it, okay, in a thirdly way. Do you care what conditions you are in or who you with, or you just want to fish? And while we at it, I mean, let me just ask a fourth way. Would you fish in the rain by yourself because you just love fishing? Is that you? Or would you rather fish on a beautiful sunny day, not too hot, lots of great snacks with some friends? I tell you right now, it's more about the whole experience for me. Y'all know my best friend Cliff Pace loves to go fishing with me. I probably help him more than he wants to admit about that. He a pro fisherman, as they say. I'm what you call a no-pro fisherman, and I bring the snacks. Now, I ain't trying to toot my own horn. Don't hear it like that, but I might be the guy you want with me on a fishing trip out on the water on account of them snacks. Bacon. I ain't fishing with it, but I'm eating with it. Hot fries, you know about that. Bologna white bread sandwich, sweet tea, maybe some Dr. Pepper. I do like the Mountain Dew when I'm on the water. Maybe because when I was a kid, they had a commercial. You remember seeing that, if you're old enough, of a feller flying off a rope swing into a lake. And I just figure, you know, you have a Mountain Dew when you're at the water. I don't know, but it always stuck with me. So I guess that commercial worked kind of thing. But I do feel like you have to have a plan. You can't just go happy hazardly out on the water without no plan. You got to have a snack plan. If you got drinks, you need to keep them cold, right? You better have a way to do that. They ain't going to automatically stay cold at the lake. That's just science. What I found works best is old styrofoam ice chest. You know about that standard styrofoam ice chest? You know them styrofoam ice chests? They styrofoam? Now you probably noticed, but you need to put ice in it. It don't come with ice in it. So it says ice chest, but really it's for ice. It's not saying it's made of ice, you know, like that away. So you got to do that. If you put drinks in there with no ice, it'll stave off that heat for a little while, but then it's going to warm up on you. And I ain't saying you don't know all this. I ain't saying that at all. Don't hear me say that. But what I am saying is when it comes to lake snacking, you don't leave nothing up to chance. You don't leave nothing up to chance. Of course, our lake's right there by fishing clips, so you can get out some snacks right up there at the bait and tackle shop, you know, if you need them while you're out on the water. But you know as well as I do, there's plenty of places folks fish that ain't near nothing but water. Especially if you shore fish. If you ain't shore fishing, but you out you in a boat and you in the middle of a goodly amount of water, distance from that shore so far, you get out there, you get hungry, that can really mess up a day fishing. That's all I'm saying. You get in the wrong place at the wrong time without no snacks, you in a bad way. Boy, you just can't steady focus on the fun of fishing because you think about your tummy and how hungry you are and how mad you are that you wish you had a snack. So I'm just saying, a plan gonna help you. Regular standard grocery bag, that's all I need for the other snacks. I got the ice chest for the cold things, and then your standard grocery bag. I'll toss a bologna sandwich in the ice chest with the drinks. I ain't a big fan of hot mayonnaise. That's what I put on my bologna sandwiches. Mayonnaise, not hot mayonnaise, and not mustard. I know. Say what you want. That's how I like them. White bread, bologna, sometimes a slice of cheese, and mayo. Now you talking. Why are you talking so much about fishing, Tabin? You might be asking right now. Well, I'm trying to tell you, I went fishing this week, and I had a good time. I'm about to tell you about that, and then I need to let you know what's going on with the softball season. Like I was saying, you heard about my Team Burger Shed book launch, and it tells you all about how the team came together. Well, it's a new season of the softball season soon, and we got some particulars to figure out. And just so you know, this season of my podcast, season 10, that you into now, like you just barely in the beginning of it with me, it's going to be a lot about softball because we heading into the spring-summer season right now. It's steady coming our way, y'all guys. But first I want to tell you about this fishing trip I went on this week, and it's with a brand new fishing partner I ain't been fishing before with ever. It wasn't Cricket. She'd been working extra hours at the nursing home because she wanted to buy some parts, like car parts to overhaul a Rambler she got, like it's an old car. Anyhow, don't matter no how. All I'm saying is that she didn't go fishing with me. Her granddaddy did not go fishing with me. My buddies from the softball team, they didn't go fishing with me. But if you're thinking about Team Burger Shed, you are getting close. Well, what do you mean, Tavin? Team Burger Shed is the fellas you play softball with. You just went and said none of the fellas you play softball with went on this fishing trip. Well, you think you know who I went fishing with? I'll tell you. I went fishing with Bud from the Burger Shed. He owns the thing. You know, he owns, and he's the one that sponsors our team, Team Burger Shed. He ain't the coach. You know, he don't come to a lot of the games, but he's a sponsor. I don't recall how it all happened exactly, except I do. We was talking at lunch a couple weeks back, and you know Bud's tried to be a little more hands-off with his business last couple years so he can travel with his wife Nita, relax a little more, that kind of thing. Well, we started to talk about fishing, and he said, there's a hole I ain't been to in years. I'd like to check it out and fish there sometime. You know, this week was that sometime. We decided to go for it. So he had a place he went years ago, and he's thinking about it. He's like, you know what, I'm taking a little break more often these days. I'd like to get out there and try that. And so I went with him. He took me with him. We got an early start, and even though it was like 12, 15 miles out of town, and we was on some dirt roads, gravel roads, side roads, back roads, and he ain't been there in years. He sure drove like he knowed where he's going. It's like riding a bike. You know, you've been somewhere so many times years ago, and then you coming back for the first time in years. It's like, boy, this is all come back. I know right where to go. Turn here, stop here, go there, that kind of thing. Yeah, he sure did. I mean, we was getting there just about daybreak. What I did was ride my bike to the Burger Shed that morning, and then he drove us to the fishing hole in his truck, but not before making us a couple breakfast sandwiches at the Burger Shed. Now, Bud didn't ask me what I wanted to eat. He just made something. Of course, he knows what I like, and I can't remember the last time he asked me what I wanted. Usually, they had that number 3 combo meal ready to go for me when I come into the burger shed. Now, I do change it up sometimes. With this breakfast sandwich, though, he put it on an English muffin. I don't know why they named it after a language. That muffin can't talk, but I know they taste good. And then he got a fried egg on there, cheese, sausage patty, some sort of seasoning. He didn't tell me what kind. He even gave me a cup of white gravy to dip it in or to pour on the sandwich. But pouring white gravy on a breakfast sandwich in a moving truck ain't the best idea, especially early in the morning when you ain't quite awake yet. So I dipped it. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I really don't know why they say that. Everybody should know that already. We all know. You don't have to keep saying that. All kind of strength. That's what I'm saying, y'all guys, to go out and catch some fish. I was ready. So we got to this fishing hole, and we parked. And Bud brought some gear, you know, to fish with, poles and that kind of thing. And I brought some stuff that I borrowed from Rance Farnhart because I ain't got really my own fishing gear, but he helped me out sometimes with that. This place we went, so you got to kind of park up high, and then you got to walk down to the water. Well, I get my gear out, but what I really want to make sure is we bring down to the water, you know, is them snacks, like I'm saying. Hey, I'm a no-pro fisherman, y'all guys, and we got to be steady snacked up. And we can't be leaving stuff in the truck, especially if we got to hoof it down to the water. Then what you say in reverse-wise is that you're going to have to hoof it up to get your snacks if you don't bring them on this first trip. Well, I wasn't trying to make 2 trips, especially with everything that we brought. I ain't hungry yet, but I also don't want to go, you know, up and down this thing. I just soon have it right by me. So Bud's got our poles. I'm carrying that styrofoam ice chest full of Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, bologna sandwiches, along with that grocery bag, standard grocery bag, full of hot fries. Now, I did have some Funyuns in there too, some of my bacon, the Tabby's bacon bag. So there's a little bit of an incline getting down there, and that ice chest, along with some loose dirt, got me off balance, and I'm losing it pretty fast. I'm thinking, am I about to fall right here? Am I about to fall down? Well, it didn't take me long to get an answer to that question. I'm on my backside pretty quick, and now I'm sliding. Not fast, but I'm trying not to hit Bud and also not spill this ice chest. Well, I could not do both. I could not do both. Either I was about to run into Bud or spill this ice chest. So he's in front of me because he didn't have a heavy load. Important load, indeed, but not a heavy load. He had them fishing poles and baiting lures, and pretty soon he had my feet that was out in front of me clip his ankles. Really, clips putting it mildly. It's full force, y'all guys. It's full force, both my feet on the back of his legs. Bud goes down. He falls backwards. Hits me, cracks that styrofoam ice chest. At this point, I don't know what I'm trying to save. I guess I'm just waiting to not be in motion so I can figure out a plan. Everything's happening so fast, but I was like, well, I can't grab that. I can't stop that. I can't catch him. There ain't nothing I can do till I stop, kind of thing. So I'm past Bud at this point. I done zoomed past him. I really ain't sure what he's doing back there now. I'm trying to wrangle a busted ice chest, this styrofoam, standard styrofoam ice chest, and a bag of snacks and not hit the water. I finally skid to a stop and try to move that ice chest out of my lap and set it down. Well, it splits in half and out pours them drinks, ice, and bologna and white bread sandwiches. So you can see in your mind's eye the mess. There ain't a lot of water in there yet because the ice was still, it wasn't melted. The day hadn't gone on, you know, so I wasn't wet like that away, but I had a busted ice chest that had all these good snacks and drinks just kind of poured out on them. So, and then I got that snack bag I was telling you, standard grocery bag. It gets caught on a bush, so I pull it, the bag rips open, and so does Tabby's bacon bag that's inside the grocery bag, and a piece of bacon lands right by the water. Now, I'm feeling gross because there's a few feelings worse than wasting bacon. When all of a sudden I seen a crawdad that was borderline lobster, peekaboo, out of that water like that away, pinch up that bacon and scoot away like a little bolt of clawed lightning. I mean, it's a goodly sized crawdad. Like if it was at a lobster party, it could probably get away with being there for a while. Once you see a wildlife on a trip like this, all your problems disappear. You okay? I hear Bud call from behind me. I figure if he can ask me how I'm doing, he must be okay too, so that was good news. I just seen the biggest crawdad of my life, Bud. Did you? You better believe it. Took some bacon and off he went. Now, you know as well as I do, we wasn't there for a crawdad hunt. We was there to fish. But you know what they say? When life hands you crawdads, you drop them in a bucket. Now, I didn't bring no bucket, but Bud did. So after I gathered all the goodies that got spilt about, I took what was left of that styrofoam ice chest and tossed it in the back of Bud's truck and brought that bucket back down to the shore. By the time I got down there, Bud had rigged our poles with bacon, and I'm telling y'all guys, we did not even have to cast. You just drop the line in the water, crawdad pinches on, we shake it off in the bucket, and repeat. What was we fishing with? Bacon. Almost broke my heart, but the payoff was immediate, seeing the haul of crawdads we was getting. I don't love to eat crawdads, don't hear me say that. They can be a lot of work, but it's hard to say no to a harvest like this. So, the good news is we caught so much we didn't feel bad about leaving early. That way it didn't give all our cold stuff time to get warm, and as the wind too. And I had to get back and meet Russell Tucker at the burger shed because he wanted to meet about the upcoming softball season. I told y'all guys that's coming up, so he wanted to talk a little bit about it. Me and Bud, we gathered our things. He dropped way more than a mess of crawdads by his house. Nita told Bud to have the softball team come out that night to help eat all of it. So I told Russell we could just have a team meeting at Bud's that night, have a little fish fry and crawdads, and Rance Farnhart, he brought the fish. I ain't super patient out on the water. I get distracted, so I can't think of a better way for our trip to go. Well, minus a couple things. I mean, we ate good that night, and Russell was telling us about the upcoming season. Looks like we filled in the same team as last fall, so that's a little bit of breaking news. Ain't a bad lineup, seeing as how we won the championship. Even Brody Childress was on time. Maybe he heard about the fish fry and the crawdads. And then we talked about last season, you know, because, well, I mean, we was champs. We ain't never been champs before. Ain't none of us never been like that away together. So it was fun. Then Russell gave us the news. He said they changed the rule on stolen bases this season. And, buddy, you can bet my ears perked up. I mean, that's one of my strengths. That's one of my strongest stats on the stat sheet for the softballs. Is the stolen bases. Firstly, you can't steal in shorts. Well, good thing for me, I wear baseball breeches to the field, so I cleared that hurdle, as they say. And then B, Russell says to me, you can't steal head first. Wait a minute. No head first steals? Is there another way to steal a base that I ain't heard about? Hold on, Tavin, Russell said. He must have known I was in a pretty serious daydream about how in the world adult softball will even make sense to me now. He's like, you can't steal head first in short sleeves. Oh, so I got to have sleeves underneath my jersey this season. Well, we got to talk and decided we should all try to wear sleeves under our jerseys so they never know when we're trying to steal. Right? Because if you got long sleeves on, then you could be going anytime. If you got short sleeves, they know, well, they ain't stealing. Or if they are, they ain't stealing head first. And we want to keep them guessing. So we talked about that. We figured we're going to try it out. Sounded like a good idea to me. Sure, the game's one between the lines of the softball fields. I ain't saying it ain't, but it's also one between your ears. So if we all in long sleeves, we inside their head. Too bad it's getting hotter. I just wear my Burger Shed hoodie underneath my uniform. But I ain't going to do that. If that's the worst news about this season, though, with these deals, I'll take it. I'll have our official starting lineup for you in the next few weeks. In the meantime, just know that Team Burger Shed's fielding a team this season, and we starting pretty soon. Who's working at the concession stand? Well, we just going to have to find out. I ain't sure about that. We'll have to see. But thanks for hanging out with me today on the Tavin Dillard podcast. That's me. I'm Tavin Dillard. Again, check them show notes today, y'all guys. We got a lot coming up. I'll put the Wichita Falls show. That's this month. That's just a few weeks away. So if you're in the Wichita Falls, Texas area and you want to come to my show called Front Yard Trampoline on May 31st, you'll see a link to the tickets today. You'll also see the Donut Haunches shirt link. You'll see the Tavin's Bacon Bag. And we got Mother's Day. I mean, you better hurry. Like I said, it's this week. If you're listening to it on May 7th, it's this Sunday. So I'll put a link to that. Them personal video greetings if you want to get one of them. And there was one other thing. Oh, the Team Burger Shed book. That'll be in the show notes today too. So there's all kind of ways you can check out how to stay connected to my neck of the woods here in Chancellor Park and what we got going on over here. And there is a lot going on. I sure appreciate y'all hanging out with me and getting back with me, you know, making last week's episode go with the Q&A. Keep in touch. You know, you can rate this podcast wherever you listen, Spotify, the Apple Podcasts, and leave me a comment on them platforms too. That helps, you know, promote the show and other folks know, oh, people really do listen to this. Well, ain't that something maybe I should try? I got ears. I could listen, kind of thing like that. Anyhow, you can check them show notes. Thanks for joining me. We have kicked off Season 10 of the Tavin Dillard Podcast. Thanks for being here and joining this little journey through what's going to be another exciting softball season ahead, I would guess. And hey, If you ain't gone 2 feet full force on the back of Bud's ankles, cradling a styrofoam ice chest and trying not to land in a fishing hole this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tabin Dillard. This is the Tabin Dillard Podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.